So, a well-designed estate plan, I get asked that question a lot, and I get people coming to me saying, I don't have anything. What if I just go to LegalZoom? So my short answer to the question is anything is better than nothing, but a well-designed estate plan is going to be done with an attorney or with someone who's familiar with the state laws of where you live, because among the 50 states, the laws differ, on different things. So an estate plan should consist of at least a will, a power of attorney, and an advance medical directive. Those sort of give you a baseline of things to do. A trust oftentimes is something I'll throw in and tell you you probably should have. Diane likely will tell you should throw in and have. But again, sometimes a trust scares my clients away. And they're like, well, I just can't do anything. And I say, no. Let's at least get the will, power of attorney, and advance directive down. And then you can always come back in a few years and come up with a trust if you need to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And then again, another basic, and I promise we'll get into some things that I think are more advanced topics that we get questions about, but how often should we be reviewing? That's good for us to know too, in terms of bringing it up in our own financial planning meetings. How often should we be reviewing the estate documents?
So the rule of thumb is every 5 years, or in the event of a major life circumstance change. And what we mean by that is, if your children go from being 16 to 21, that's a significant life change because they're now adults. And if your estate plan or your beneficiaries or things are not correct, they could potentially inherit everything. Similarly, if you inherit a large estate for yourself and your wealth changes, that's sort of what we mean in those large life events. Ironically, going from 1 child to 2 children isn't necessarily a major life change for estate planning documents, because often for my younger families, we build in the fact that they potentially are going to have more children. So that is a major life circumstance change to you, but not necessarily for estate planning purposes if your documents are done correctly.
But is a like a change in circumstance, could it also be if there's some sort of a medical condition, or is there a time we need to be thinking about whether someone's capable of serving, or is that does that create a whole series?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely a major medical event. You should look back and make sure your documents say what you want them to say, because quite frankly, you don't know what the future is going to hold for you. And yes, capacity is a huge concern that we see time and time again. Questions about, someone says, well, my aunt executed power of attorney 10 years ago, giving it to my uncle, but uncle is now deceased and aunt's capacity is questionable. So we analyze with you potentially whether she has the capacity to sign a power of attorney or a will, because the mental capacity to execute those documents sometimes might be lower than you think, but it's a quick action item because that mental capacity can drop off like a rock.
So as soon as maybe as soon as there's some sensitivity or awareness of a situation, it's time to revisit.
Correct. I think so. And similarly, probably for you all, just look back at your insurance and make sure whatever your life insurance, long-term care insurance, that you have it and you understand what it is, and